as a business owner or founder of the company, how has this impacted the business? Like the way you manage things, the way your business has been operating.
It's kind of a loaded question.
And you
So,
can go as detailed as you want.
I would say it's interesting because it actually reinforced the way that I had been trying to manage people. And again, I reference it all the time. It's extreme ownership, right? So, and it isn't for everyone, but it's if you haven't, I know you have because it's back in the corner behind your right shoulder. But that that book really describes how you can enable ownership up and down the entire company or entire team. People taking responsibility for their actions, and it isn't for everyone, and it's on me to find where the people that can do it and the people that can't. And if they can't do it, then help them find the right position inside of a company, and or help them find the right position outside of the company. And it's I never want to lose people, whether my decision or theirs. I don't like to lose people because I think everybody has a position in the company. The bigger challenge I run into, I think, in this is it's forced me to be much more critical in my thinking as far as who and what and where it fits best. Obviously, Stratum's a people company. We are not a we're not a product. We're a service. We're people that provide a service. And so the people have to understand that our success is dependent upon their ownership of issues, their ownership of success as well. Like if they have a success, they've got to own it and say, hey, this is how we did it better. This is than everyone else. And when something fails, and failures happen, and that's okay as long as we learn from them. So it's reinforced probably more so than anything else my belief that ownership is not something that you have. It's something that while I'm a co-founder of the company, and I am part owner, but it's not just me. I want to enable everyone from me to our entry-level engineer, the entry-level architect, the ability to make decisions, do what's right in the eyes of the customer, and while still representing Stratum and their the guy who pays their check. So it's a two-sided coin, and that is a lot of different ways. That's finding a better way to approach a problem that we run into all the time. I'll share one of our issues up until about a year ago was invoicing and billing. We came at it about 3 different ways until we settled on something that is now really quite effective and quite good. It was a pain point that took 2 weeks to accomplish just a year ago. And now we get bills out within a day, and from the end of the month. So by understanding that there are better approaches than the one that we have, and it makes no sense. You learn from failures as much as you learn from mistakes, or as much as you learn from success. Sorry. But so that's probably as a founder and one of the 2 guys that founded Stratum, I think that's probably been the most valuable thing that I've learned is that by instilling that level of support in the team and giving them power. And it's not the right word, but empowering people to make those decisions, empowering people to know that I've got their back if they make that decision for the right reasons. Even if it's the wrong decision, if you make the wrong decision for the right reasons, that's better than never making a decision one way or the other. Sitting back and going, it's not my fault because I didn't make a decision is not possible in this company. We're 20 to 30 people big. In a company of 20 to 30 people in size, you can't just say, I'm not going to make any actions because I don't want to have a fault. No, failures happen, and that's okay as long as we learn from them. So,
yeah. No, I know some other business owners too that are questioning whether, now that they've had some experience, a year-long experience with their employees working from home, they're starting to question whether they need the actual office space.
Oh, we're downsizing our office space. That happens July 1. We've already made that decision. We've realized that the office space is probably too big. And we don't need, as much as I appreciate the fact that there is gigabit Ethernet service for just me in the office. It's awesome. I don't need gigabit Ethernet, into the office. It was great when there were 8 or 10 people. That's what we needed. Now we're here with a gigabit Ethernet service, and we don't need it for just Aaron, and streaming movies off of Netflix or Amazon. And doing Teams meetings, really doing Teams meetings. But that's I'd say probably the biggest part of, if you ask from a, how do I go defensive on my budget and what have I realized? Oh yeah, way too much space, way too much, I'm going to say office infrastructure, whether that's networking or whether that's desks or, my whiteboard. Please don't take it away from me. I love it. But we're downsizing our office space, and we're doing it in July. And we're doing that more so than anything else because we have a need to have some office space available for, people who want to come into the office, who have to get out of the house. Maybe the power goes out or something, but they still need to meet and work. But at the same time, that if they don't want to come in, they don't have to. And that was a decision that Ryan and I made right around December, right around the end of the year. We said, yeah, we're not gonna renew the lease on the space. And it's sad because I love this office space. I like our landlords have been awesome, but I can't justify. It's a hard time justifying 2,800 square feet of office space for me. My head's big, but not that big.
So, another thing that you said, you're consolidating the physical location, but it's pretty obvious that there's been a lot of consolidation with the tool sets that we use as well. You had previously mentioned we were on Slack, we tried Zoom, we were using Zoom, all of these one-off solutions, which typically happens, especially when you're in a startup, right? You're just kind of grabbing tools and making things work.
Yep.
But then it becomes a point, I suppose, where we're using Office 365, the whole platform. It's got Teams. Then you start to question, well, why are we paying for Zoom too when we have it in Teams? And it starts to become a consolidation of platforms.
Yep, and we had that happen on three different things. Slack and Zoom was one. We moved to Teams, and that was November of 2019, October of 2019. So that was step one. But there's been more. We took our inventory management system, our ticketing system, and our change management system and our billing system for our managed services customers and consolidated all those onto a single PSA, which is our it's our CMDB and IT service management tool set. And we run billing out of it. And so we've got all of our contracts are managed inside of it. All of the assets that we manage are listed inside of it. All of our tickets, all of our incidents, all of our projects are now starting to be delivered out of it. So we used to have smart sheets. We don't have smart sheets anymore. And all of those are true. How do we consolidate all of it to that? The third one is, we used to have HubSpot and we used to have Salesforce and we had all these different things. Well, Microsoft Dynamics 365 gives us all those capabilities. And when we now kind of consolidated to M365, Microsoft 365 is our productivity suite. D365 or Dynamics 365 is our customer engagement suite. And Freshworks Fresh Service is our IT service management tool set. That's kind of become the three things we work with. And there's obviously Microsoft Azure, Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud Platform, the M365 Cloud, the Power Platform Cloud. Those are kind of the five that we work with. But that's it. I mean, we don't have any customers outside of those anymore. And there's a lot of clouds that are out there, but those are pretty much the five that we work with. And all of those to kind of consolidate into three tool sets.
Right. One of the things that I also thought is really been interesting is that, not that we've had any downtime, but you were talking about doing some of that optimization.
Mm-hmm.
We do something internally called sprints.
Mm-hmm.
So we're constantly working and developing some of those internally identified things that could always use some improvement. And, so we've always find ways to make use of that time and resources.
Absolutely. And there's going to be scenarios where our team has got bench time, our team has got downtime, or we've gotten really good at doing a thing, and whatever that thing may, let's just call it patching. Maybe it doesn't require us being on a phone call 24/7, while we're doing patches, and we just set it and forget it, kind of like the Ronco rotisserie. We can set it, forget it, and walk away. That a year ago didn't exist. We're still not 100% there, but as we get better at things that we're doing, we find that we can do more with less. Again, it goes back to that automation aspect, that automation conversation. So when we come at it from the next step, it's ta-da, here you go. And here's how we can drive down that cost of goods sold. Because again, we're a people company. I don't want to lose people. I want to keep them busy. I want to have them doing new and cool and fun things, and drawing a line between monitoring platform and our incident management platform, and drawing that line and connecting them using APIs or something like that. While it doesn't seem like it does a lot, it reduces our time to resolution. It reduces it significantly from when the incident is recognized by our monitoring platform to the point where we are fixing it because we're getting notified, we're getting emails sent, we're getting phone calls. We're knowing hours in advance, versus minutes, versus minutes before an outage or an issue happens. We're knowing hours in advance that, hey, there's some application issues. Now we're going to the customers and saying, we think we should recycle this application, restart this application. We're getting errors in this type in this log that every time we see it, we know 4 hours from now we're going to start to have tickets pop in, and we have to do it anyway. What do you think? And so it's a lot of that kind of optimization where now we're intelligent. We're using smart people in smart ways.
Thank you for watching Stratum's Cloud Interrupted. If you like what you see, please subscribe, like, and share this video.